think the paper is very important. You know, this has the unique, I suppose, history of being the only political paper with that unbroken publication, going right back until it was first established around 1970. So if you just consider that, here you have 40 years. Editors arrested, the office raided, the printers at one point raided, sellers harassed, but yet week in, week out, and now month in and month out, we have a Republican organ which people can dip into as a paper of record to get our view of different matters, and as a platform and as a forum for discussion for those who want to put pen to paper.
The paper has played a great role in keeping the voice of Irish Republicans alive, particularly in the 70s and 80s when we had massive censorship, where the voice of republicanism was stifled deliberately by the government and by the political establishment in this state and beyond, and certainly has played a very great role in keeping that voice alive. The relaunch of the paper, it's now a monthly paper. I have the first edition here in my hand that I've just read, and it's from an internal point of view, it's an excellent avenue for us to debate where we are now, where we're going, how we're going to get to achieve our ultimate objectives, and also from a historical point of view that we can look back at what has been achieved to date and the role that active Republicans played in bringing about where we are, and articulate that through our paper.
Well, I've always liked the An Phoblacht. I've always found it essential reading, particularly going back to the time of censorship, where you wouldn't hear what was happening in the Republican community about Republican activity except extremely negative light through the broader media. So for that reason, the An Phoblacht, and at one time together with the Republican News, have always been essential reading for me, not necessarily from cover to cover, but I would always skip through and pick out the very interesting articles, and there have always been very interesting articles in the paper.
The first issue of An Phoblacht that I ever got was in May 1981, and it reported the death on hunger strike of Bobby Sands MP. So I probably have missed very few issues since then. Obviously the hunger strike had a huge influence on me and many people of my generation, and central to getting the message across at the time was An Phoblacht, because of course we had censorship here in the 26 counties. The voice of the prisoners, the representatives, including even Owen Carron, who succeeded Bobby Sands as MP, couldn't be heard on RTE, TV or radio. So one of the main means that we had to find out about what was happening in the 6 counties and the Republican point of view was, of course, An Phoblacht.
When I joined An Phoblacht in 1985, in the summer of '85, I worked as a proofreader. At the time, Robin Dunwoody was my mentor, a Protestant man from the Shankill area who had learned his trade professionally, worked in England, then came back to work full-time for the movement. And he taught me how to be a proofreader and later sub-editor. And at the time we were all working on the one floor in 44 Parnell Square. The first floor there contained all of the equipment required, and we were working on the old system of cut and paste, and there was a telex machine and every gadget that we could get. And sometimes on a Wednesday in particular we had a production deadline for Thursday morning. We'd work from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock the following morning, 24 hours. And on that floor as well we had our canteen, and there was a big pot of stew or something cooked for us by one of our contributors at the time. There was about 20 of us working there in some shape or other, and it was great camaraderie built up amongst us. Most of us are still friends to this day.
Well, I was editor from 1990 to 96, and obviously that was a key period because it saw the development of the peace process. The first IRA cessation came in the middle of that period. 94, and then we had the whole developments up towards the Good Friday Agreement. So it was a very crucial period, and the paper played a very important role in informing the membership of Sinn Féin and our supporters of the developments in the peace process, explaining the Republican peace strategy, explaining the development of the party and what our leadership was doing in negotiations. So it was absolutely essential in that regard.
I suppose when you look back in the An Phoblacht Republican news, as they called it back in the early 70s, it was primarily a paper that gave a detailed account of the war on the ground at that point in time. And towards the 80s, beginning of the 80s, and that on, it became an avenue for internal debate within republicanism on the way forward. And it also opened up many activists around the country as an avenue for them to put their views forward as well. And it certainly helped to contribute to that debate.
There was a number of attacks on Phoblacht personnel, both in Belfast but also in Dublin, where people were wounded. There was a bomb attack on the building at one stage. A parcel was delivered to An Phoblacht, and I managed to get it out the back where it exploded, and a similar one was sent to 44 on that day, and it ended up injuring a bomb disposal expert.
When direct political censorship ended, the role of the paper changed somewhat, and that was at the time when I was editor. So we had to adapt to changed political circumstances, the peace process, the growth and the building of Sinn Féin. And I think the role of the paper in the building of Sinn Féin in the 26 counties, and also in the north as well, over the last number of years, 10, 15, maybe 20 years, shouldn't be underestimated. It did play a very important role, and it still has an important role to play. Obviously, much of the readership now is online, but also the sale of the paper, the physical copy of the paper, is extremely important. It's a tool for activists, and it's very important to get the Republican viewpoint across.
Well, the An Phoblacht continues to have a significant role to play in where we're going, conscious of where we're coming from, and certainly for young Republican activists and young people in general, the precarious situation regarding the economy of our country at the moment is something that we can debate and contribute to. And also, I'm quite certain people who will not be of the same political views as us will also read that hopefully with an open mind, and see the arguments that we are making regarding the economy and regarding the future of our country, and particularly regarding moving towards a single economy and a united Ireland.
I think it's the only logical thing in this day and age is that the internet content should be increased and updated, and that it be approached, that Republican message, press releases, articles, history and all that is readily accessible, and it's not that it's also, while it's part of Sinn Féin, but it's a separate site, that this is where people go to get the news.